All right, let's get into this. All right, so here are the two trades I took on Friday, July 25th. This first trade, let me just say like what accounts that these are on. This first trade here was taken on my eval account. Oh, sorry, no. This first trade here was taken on my express funded and it got brought to break even. So I made $0 today on the express funded. This second trade right here was on my eval and I made $700 on the eval. So just as a preface of going into what I actually made today, technically $0, but $700 on a 100K eval. All right, so let's get into the trade. So the first one, like I said, this one was on the express funded. This was a market open trade. We had like London highs right here. Let me just mark those off just so you can like have a little bit of visualization for it. So we have London highs here going into market open. ES did end up taking out these highs. NQ didn't, so that means we put in an SMT. And what have I been really working on and stressing in these last couple of videos? How do you determine a bias going into the day, or at least where market's going to go when it's actually going to open? And it's how the imbalances are holding. So we have this 15-minute Sibi here, and this is getting held bearish extremely well. Like as you see, we put in this London high wick, we hold bearish, hold bearish, hold bearish, hold bearish, hold bearish, hold bearish, come up, take out this London high, but we're still holding bearish on this 15-minute gap. So this gives me confluence going into the morning that we're going to target some sort of sell side draw when market opens. And we get an inversion right here, and that's where my entry is. And at first I was targeting, let me show you if it's still mapped out. Yeah, I was targeting all the way down to here. This was not a smart price target, and I see that now. And as you can see, this is only 29 points to this draw right here. The draw that I actually only got taken when I was in the trade was only this one right here before I ended up, before I ended up getting stopped out at break even. So initially we came down, took out this low. I was waiting to take out this low. And as you see, we came back up here after taking this low and stopped me out at break even, which was fine because as you see, we trade, come down here, put in this low. This is a bullish SMT. So we're starting to see price action form into a long, which is what I ended up taking on my eval because I hit my trade limit for the day on the express funded, even though I was only down, or sorry, I wasn't down anything. I was break even. And so we see this SMT get put in. We have an inversion here. I don't need to mark it out. You see the inversion here. And then we have a change in the state. Now, change in the state often gets misused. Okay. A change in the state is a close above a series of up close or down close candles that swept liquidity. Okay. The swept liquidity part is very important because without that, it's just a market structure shift. So using the manipulation, like you can see my standard deviation here. You can see that 2.5 standard deviation aligns with all-time highs, which was my original draw. Now look how efficient we were to the draw of all-time highs. This literally took like 3.5 hours or something. So did I catch that move? No, I didn't. I caught the move up to this high because we were in this 15-minute Sibi over here. This 15-minute Sibi was holding too bearish for me to continue holding this trade, as well as we were pushing like 2 hours into this price action here. So here is a tip for what happens when you start accumulating in the middle of your trade. When we put in this SMT low right here on this accumulation, you can see that we're looking for a breakout. After accumulating, come down, take out internal liquidity, and we're going to push up towards our next draw, right? This SMT low is often protected, okay? An SMT low, especially internally, is often protected when it comes to an accumulation zone. So how could you use this to allow the trade to play out? If you really had confidence in the 2.5 standard deviation or the all-time high draw, you could hold your stop here. You're holding it in profit, and you're guaranteeing profit for the day while allowing your trade to run all the way up to all-time highs. But with the way that price was moving and how inefficient it was, I was okay with taking off full profit at this 35-point mark or this 15-minute high. Oops, keep actually doing this. This 15-minute high right here. So that was the second trade today. That was plus $700 on the eval. So initially I took this market open trade, targeted to this low, didn't happen, ended up moving my profit target to here. At the time that didn't happen, and we came all the way up here and stopped me out. As you see right here, I was like, okay, bet, let me move my profit to here because I was expecting, maybe a long to end up happening with the way that we were moving. And we ended up not taking this draw until I came up and got stopped at break even. So that's just how it played out. I wasn't fine with leaving my stop at this S&T high just because with the way that longs were setting up. So that got stopped at break even, hit my trade limit for the day, following my rules every day. That's fine. And I hop on the eval, catch this. This is actually an A plus setup. Have our SMT inversion right here. I guess this is turning into a bear gap. End up inverting it here with our change in the state on the 1 minute. Also a 5-minute change. Low key earlier, 5-minute change was here. Wait, no. We didn't really have a 5-minute change. It was here. It was here, which we ended up getting. But yeah, so that's how the trade played out. Friday price action, kind of typical Friday price action. Not very efficient, but the trade did end up playing out to all-time highs. But I just wasn't willing to wait. What is this? 9:48 to 12:13. Yeah, I wasn't gonna wait 2.5 hours. Just wasn't confident in it if it wasn't moving that efficiently, especially to only 2.5 standard deviation. Like, maybe to 4, but 3 got ended up getting taken. But yeah, maybe to 4. Maybe the 4 I would be that patient, but not the 2.5. Normally you expect to get 2.5 a lot faster, and this is only 35 points, so not a lot of volatility today, but still able to catch this decent move. Um, Able to give you this tip on this SMT low, how it stays protected. And those were the 2 trades for today. So